welcome. Sit down. Is there anybody else who has a question? Could you please come and sit? Anybody else with questions? Okay, thank you.
Hi, good evening. Representative Kelly, consumerism is down, but what these CEOs did to America, they need to be prosecuted. And I'm waiting for somebody to step up to the plate and do something about what these people doing up on top and to make everybody else suffer for it. I'm not too enthused by having to pay, you know, for their problems that they cause. I'm not too enthused about that. I don't know about you guys. But I would like to know how each one of you would have voted on that $700 billion bailout, number one. Number two, going back to that question about the FCAT scores and how they relate to communities of affluence. Could you further explain how that works? And do you believe in the FCAT system?
What was interesting in that is that I actually heard a suggestion that somebody raised, I don't know, talk show on TV or something. They said, why don't they just send that money to all the homeowners and let them pay off their mortgages, whether they're good or bad? And that would actually cost less. Well, you know, then they had the whole discussion about that. But I think what was interesting about that is that was a conversation that came from a, for lack of a better word, a regular person out in the community that has to deal with it every day. The reason why I say that is I think that goes back to the FCAT kind of situation. If you take a look at what's happened in Tallahassee over the last number of years, and I have to admit, I use Tallahassee in the legislature in the sense that I've been dealing with it for a lot of years, and I know that Kurt hasn't been there all this time, so he's taking the blunt of a lot of this. But I think it's a mindset, it's a culture up there, that Tallahassee has been putting an amazing amount of restrictions back on the educational system. And they have been demanding, you do it this way. In fact, this is, you know, I mean, they want to implement statewide dress codes, come up periodically. They, you know, whether it's mandatory K-3 kindergarten, whether it's whatever the case may be. I think that if you end up talking with most superintendents, especially the current superintendent and the school boards, actually what they would like is more local flexibility to be able to address the systems as it appears locally. The FCAT test is too overwhelming. Again, I'll ask you to take a look at my brochure because obviously I didn't prepare this ahead of time for tonight, but I've been talking about this ever since I got on the campaign trail. One of the things in here is the need to have the FCAT and the No Child Left Behind programs re-examined. They are too all-inclusive, and I think that what we need to do is go and give some local authority back to the local school boards to be able to make those decisions, because you run into the school board members all the time. And you can tell them whether their school system is running well or not, if they have the flexibility to do it. What you need is a representative out there that will give that back. So, thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Keith Stewart. Lived in Marion here for the past 3 years. And I would like to just outline something to you. Let you know where we are standing, and when you hear my voice, I think you're listening to at least 15,000 voices. Property tax, you have already addressed the issue, but I think everyone in here will agree with me that property taxes are breaking our backs. We would like to know what we would do about that. Give us some good explanation. Let me tell you what our neighbors in the north are doing. In Georgia, they revalue the property and they decrease the value, and they will assess you and 1/3 of that present value. That's what in Georgia. We are not seeing that here in Marion Oaks. Our taxes are increasing yearly. So we are concerned about that. Mr. Lee, you have mentioned about capital punishment in your statement. I would like to ask you this question. How one daughter sent her to school or to college, and just to hear that somebody ambushed her, killed her cold-blooded